Liza Tarbuck is an English actress and television and radio presenter. Early life: Liza Tarbuck was born in Liverpool, Lancashire, England. She is the daughter of comedian Jimmy Tarbuck. She trained at the National Youth Theatre and RADA, graduating in 1986 alongside Clive Owen, Rebecca Pidgeon and Mark Womack. Acting: her first big break came in 1987 when she landed a starring role in the new, long-running Granada television comedy series Watching, playing a character called Pamela opposite Emma Ray. Liza stayed with Watching for its entire 7-year run. She also appeared as Angie in the 1988 Falklands War drama Tumbledown, which starred Colin Firth, Paul Rees and David Calder. In 2001, she took the title role in Linda Green, which ran for 2 series, ending in 2002. In more recent times, she has guest-starred on the Ricky Gervais comedy Extras, and has appeared in the Inspector Linley mysteries as D.I. Fiona Knight. In 2004, Tarbuck appeared in Series 6 of the long-running BBC One comedy French and Saunders, as a fictionalized version of herself, where she had the role of producer for Saunders and French productions with Christopher Hague Moody. In 2005, Tarbuck appeared as Mrs. Jellyby in the BBC One serial Bleak House, and in 2006 she appeared in episode 6 of the sitcom Saxondale, as a full-figured rock chick. In 2007, she lent her voice to the animated Doctor Who adventure The Infinite Quest. 2007 also saw her starring in the ITV1 comedy drama Bonkers. In 2009 Tarbuck starred as staff nurse Tina in her first role in a feature film, in The Be All and End All. BBC Radio 4, she has played Helen in the radio programme Claire in the Community since Series 5, taking over from Gemma Craven for BBC Radio 4. Liza has also appeared in other shows for Radio 4 such as Just a Minute and A Story About Jane Mansfield. Presenting: after a 7-year break from television, she presented the fashion program She's Gotta Have It in 1998. Her exuberance, humor and presenting skills landed her a presenting job on The Big Breakfast, where she forged a successful partnership with Johnny Vaughan along with Sarah Cox and Richard Bacon. In 2001, she teamed up with her father for a celebrity edition of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? In the early 2000s, she hosted the Sky One game show Blockbusters and has been a guest presenter on Have I Got News for You? In 2003, Tarbuck hosted Channel 4's Emmy Award-winning panel discussion game show Without Prejudice. Tarbuck has also hosted a late-night edition of Win, Lose or Draw, and has also presented Britain's Top Dog, as well as narrating the last series of the British documentary Airport in 2005. She has also presented a one-off quiz for 5 called I Blame the Spice Girls to celebrate 5's 10th birthday. She has also been one celebrity to appear in a series of adverts for the UK supermarket Asda. Tarbuck signed a deal with Sky One to present a show called Pet Nation alongside Huey Morgan in 2010. She has also narrated the Channel 4 dieting show Supersize vs Super Skinny since 2008. BBC Radio 2, during September 2007 she co-presented the weekday afternoon show on BBC Radio 2 with Mark Radcliffe, whilst Steve Wright was on leave. In December 2007, she once more hosted the show, this time as a solo presenter. In July 2008 she once again co-presented with Radcliffe. In December 2008 and January 2009 she presented the Saturday morning slot on BBC Radio 2 with Martin Freeman. For a week in March 2009 Liza stood in for Sarah Kennedy's popular Dawn Patrol show. In August 2009, she stood in for Jonathan Ross on his Saturday morning show on Radio 2. Alongside her on the show was Huey Morgan of Fun-Loving Criminals. The pair presented the show again in November 2009. In July-August 2010, Tarbuck stood in for Simon Mayo on his BBC Radio 2 Drive Time show for 3 weeks. She stood in for him again from 18 April 22 in 2011, from 1 August 19 in 2011 and 14 February 18 in 2012. Much loved by the listeners, Liza stood in for Simon Mayo again 6 April 10, 2015. Listeners asked BBC Radio 2 to make Liza the permanent presenter of Drive Time. In March 2012, the BBC announced that Tarbuck would start presenting her new Saturday night show on BBC Radio 2 from May 12, 2012. It will be on between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., and replaces the programme presented by Alan Carr and Melanie Sykes after Carr announced his decision to leave the network. Film and television appearances: Let's Play Darts for Comic Relief, herself contestant, Mel and Sue herself. Psycho Bitches TV comedy as Miss Muffet and Witch, Eat Well for Less, narrator, Miranda, registrar, Nevermind the Buzzcocks, presenter, World's Most Dangerous Roads, Ho Chi Minh Trail, herself with Sue Perkins, Skins, Anita Hardbeck, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, head nurse Karen, Mount Pleasant, Kate, The Boat That Guy Built, narrator, Liza and Huey's Pet Nation, The Be All and End All, Tina, Queens of British Pop, narrator, The Paul O'Grady Show, herself, 8 out of 10 Cats, herself, 8 out of 10. Cats Does Countdown, herself, Britain's Top Dog with Liza Tarbuck, host, QI, herself, Bonkers, Helen Barker, extras Rita, Saxondale, Rock Chick, Airport, narrator, French and Saunders, herself, Win, Lose or Draw Late, presenter, Friday Night with Jonathan Ross, herself, Inspector Linley, D.I. Fiona Knight, Without Prejudice, presenter, The Hound of the Baskervilles, Mrs. Barrymore 5 Graham Norton, herself, Linda Green, Parkinson, herself, Time Team, herself, The League of Gentlemen, Donna, Room 101, herself, Have I Got News for You, herself, Blockbusters, presenter, The Big Breakfast, presenter, Blankety Blank, herself, Chimera, Girl on Coach, Victoria Woodmensana in Thingamidooda Dana, Tumbledown, Angie, Watching, Pamela Lynch. References. External links: Liza Tarbuck at BBC Programmes, Liza Tarbuck at the Internet Movie Database, biography from BBC Drama.